Zacks Rank Buys, stocks with a short-term buy or strong buy recommendation. Now, here are more Zacks Rank Buys. Let's talk value stocks now with Tracey Ryniec, our value stock strategist at Zacks.com. You have at least one very interesting value pick here this week.
Just one?
When I have never heard of these, because I've been doing this for quite a while,
I know.
I always characterize it as interesting.
That's true.
Stage Stores Incorporated, SSI, the ticker symbol.
Yes.
They're in niche retail.
They are.
Under a lot of different names.
Yes, they have a whole bunch of brand names like Palais Royale, Stage, and a couple others, Goodies. You would know them if you were in smaller cities because they have kind of a specialty on clothing, retail, clothing lines, shoes, accessories in the smaller cities, small and mid-sized cities across the country in 39 different states. Wow. So they fit a niche where the bigger boxy stores aren't going, but they do. So, and it's value-priced items, so that seems to fit well with this kind of market that's going on right now. Mm-hmm. Just recently, they raised their dividend 50%, which is great for shareholders. It's yielding about 1.6%, but you know, anytime a company raises these days, it's good news. Yeah. They also raised guidance recently in May when they reported their earnings. And you can see all the estimates are jumping off this raised guidance, so that's also good. They had kind of so-so sales for May when they reported in early June. They're one of those retailers that reports the monthly sales reports. And it was a little weaker than expected, better than last year, but a little weaker. But they still see things improving. They're thinking into June and July, so guidance has remained the same and all of that. But it is kind of something to note that a few of the retailers are seeing a little bit of weakness here. We'll see if that's just a kind of a seasonal thing or what in the next couple months. The chart, it's interesting. They had the big rally, as all the retailers did, off that March 2009 lows, and then it's pulled back some, which we're also seeing with a lot of the retailers. So it makes it a little bit more attractive here. Trading, you know, around 12, 13 times forward earnings, which isn't, you know, super expensive. And they do have this interesting story going on in this kind of niche area.
Interesting, yeah. As much as I've driven around the country, I've never seen any of their stores.
I know, you might have just drove by them and just not really thought about it.
Didn't register.
Yes.
At my age, that happens a lot. Eastman Chemical, EMN ticker symbol. Now that one I've heard of.
Yes, they're a big specialty chemical company, and I've been doing all these specialty chemical companies for these value plays because this one's trading around 11 times, so it's not real expensive. It's actually a Zacks #2 rank now. It was a #1 when I reviewed it, but that's still a rank buy. Mm-hmm. And you know, they are especially chemicals for like inks, coatings, sealants, that kind of thing. And like the other ones that I've covered, they're seeing a big improvement in manufacturing. Okay. So that's where they're seeing, you know, good sales volumes and things like that. And they're seeing it, they've said a couple weeks ago, they're seeing it improving through the rest of the year is what they're estimating. So they did also raise guidance, just like Stage Stores, to about $5.25 to $5.50 a share, up from $5 to $5.25. And so all the estimates are rising on this, you know, new guidance range, which is a positive thing for them. Mm-hmm. They actually report on July 15th, which is coming up soon. So we're going to kind of get another indication of what's going on in the manufacturing side of things. But for now, it looks pretty good for these guys. And the chart is also similarly, you see a little bit of pullback recently, which we're seeing with almost everybody because the whole entire market has pulled back. Mm-hmm. But again, it kind of gives you an attractive entry point here, and you know, we'll kind of have to see what develops in the economy going forward with these kinds of companies because they're the building blocks of everything on the manufacturing side.
According to the chart, stock rallied off its March '09 lows.
Yes.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, these, you know, they've seen a big increase in their volumes and things like that, and it's all going to depend on what happens with, you know, energy prices and like the components that go into making chemicals. They're seeing some stabilization in that right now. So, but
still off from their 2-year highs, though.
Yeah.
So there is some room to the upside.
There is. There is. Yeah, I mean, I like the building blocks. That's why I keep reviewing them on here because they're seeing a lot of good earnings estimates, revisions higher, and the chart looks good, and they all have attractive valuations.
Do you own either of these two?
I do not.
All right, if you want to check out more Zacks Rank Buy stock pick ideas, go to our homepage at Zacks.com if you're not accessing this video from our homepage, and look over to the upper right-hand corner. That's where we put 4 new stock pick ideas for you daily, one in each of the investing categories written about. With Tracey, I'm Terry Ruffalo.